Good morning, brothers and sisters in Christ. Let us dive into the Word. So today's Gospel reading tells us about the risen Christ. How after Jesus had risen from the dead, he appeared to Mary Magdalene and a few others. But when they went back and told the rest, they did not believe them. But then Jesus appeared again to the 11 and rebuked them for their hardness of heart, and told them to go into the whole world and proclaim the gospel to all creation. Yes, dear brothers and sisters, Jesus calls us to proclaim the gospel to all creation. And so the term proclaim here in Greek is also known as kerygma, which is the preaching or proclamation of the Christian gospel. And this is one of the most important tasks of the Catholic Church. Dear brothers and sisters, we just celebrated Easter, the resurrection of Jesus, and we understand the beauty of our Christian faith. We understand how important this is, that Jesus, who was in a fully human form, died and rose again from the dead. And it is always easier to preach or proclaim this good news to those who already know it. But what about those who do not know God at all? What about those who do not know about the Christian faith at all? How do we proclaim this good news that Jesus is alive in today's world? Of course, at times, we all have that fear that, people will not believe us, just like in today's gospel. But dear friends, Jesus is not asking us to just go into the world and just speak theology to people. If an opportunity arises, that's good. But ultimately, he calls us to live our lives like Easter people, to declare, to proclaim with our lives, in the way we relate to other people, in the way we carry out our tasks at hand, the way we declare that Jesus is risen in our lives, and to live like the resurrected people. Because if we just understand and just believe, and if we just have faith, that alone is not enough. Even in James chapter 2, it says faith without works is dead. Faith, if not accompanied by action, is dead. And dear friends, it's always easier to come together within our comfortable group and share His word. But it is never easy to send that additional text or that additional invite to someone whom we are not as comfortable with to come and fellowship with us. Why? In my own experience, some of the reasons would be, maybe I'm afraid to be rejected by that person. Sometimes I'm so afraid of being rejected by that person, or maybe I just don't feel comfortable, or maybe I struggle to relate with that person in a specific way. While it is good to come together and fellowship and pray within our circle, we have to always keep in mind that it does not end there. It begins there. Our small group should help us, should encourage us to want to bring others closer to Christ as well. If the disciples remain among their 11 of them after Jesus had appeared to them, we will not be here speaking of the good news today. They heard the message and scattered themselves to different parts of the world to proclaim this very same message. And this is why we do the same today. Were they comfortable doing so? Probably not. But I'm pretty sure when they looked back and saw the impact that they made on the world today, it would have been all worth the discomfort that they had to face. And it is only when we do that, dear brothers and sisters, through our acts of service to others, when we die to our selfish preferences, then Jesus Himself will do the rest, If we look at the Acts of the Apostles, and when Peter addressed the crowd and told them about Jesus, he said to them, "Save yourselves from this corrupt generation." And so those who accepted this message were baptized, and about 3,000 more were added to their number that day. And they devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and to fellowship, broke bread and prayed with them, and fellowship together in the temple courts. And because of that, the Lord added to their number daily those who were being saved. So dear brothers and sisters in Christ, we don't all need to be at the synagogues preaching and teaching. We all are gifted in so many different ways to reach out and to proclaim this good news to others. But every time a person encounters Jesus through us, that is the miracle of Jesus adding one more to our numbers. So have a blessed weekend, dear brothers and sisters, and God bless.